Welcome to the weekly offload, guys. So we've got an amazing guest with us. Obviously, as an Eels fan, I'm a little bit biased, but Paige Travis, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries at all. So obviously, you play for the Parramatta Eels in the NRLW. How would you assess the season so far, do you think?
It's been a tough season, I'd say, but equally just as enjoyable. We've obviously just had two big, massive games back to back, which are the top two, which have been difficult. But other than that, yeah, it's been a progressive season. Obviously, a new season for me, just getting to know obviously their systems and stuff. But yeah, it seems like from when I've watched them previous years, it seems like a good year at the moment for them.
Yeah, and sorry about my voice, guys. It's like I was saying before the podcast. It's like I'm going through puberty. But and I was a bit of a late bloomer. But how have you found just living in Australia? Because obviously, I was saying to yourself and your partner, like the weather's been pretty shit. I'll say it for you. You can offend my Australian audience. It's okay. But it's been like, yeah, it does it rain a lot more than you guys thought here?
Yeah, and it's like when it rains here, like it doesn't just rain, it's like
Pause.
ridiculous amount of rain, yeah. Like we used to rain in England, but I don't think as much as like the last few weeks. It's just been crazy, but can't moan because then a day later it's like 20 degrees and that's in England people have vests and shorts on if it turns anything at 18. So
Well, can I tell you, when I lived there, I remember the first day my partner's like, you're getting a bit English. It was like 20 and sunny. And I'm like, it's a nice day. And she like second looked and she's like, what's happened to you? What's going on? Like when I first got there, I'll be like, this is rubbish. But I will say this winter's been pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Like as a winter, it's been... my mum says it's cold all the time, and my partner's always like, God, you Aussies are wimps. But it has been, I'd say that it has been cold. So hopefully it's sunny day today. So hopefully, but what about the people? How are you finding that? As I said, you don't have to hold back on here as well.
honest.
Yeah, you can be honest.
Do you know what? The people have actually been really nice. Like Aussies are just really quite like welcoming and friendly people. That's what I've noticed. Like very friendly. There's a language barrier definitely, and at training the girls just rip for me all the time. Like as soon as I say anything, they just repeat it back in my accent. They just everything that I say. So sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I find myself slowing down my words just so that they understand me.
Yeah, I think because Northern's a little bit
Northern's
more
tougher.
strong.
Yeah.
I'd say. Like, I mean, my partner gets that too, but it's
Yeah.
a little bit more strong.
Northern.
No, she's a soft southerner.
Soft
Yeah,
southerner,
she's
yeah.
soft. But she went to university in Manchester, so
right.
she quite like. I actually loved Manchester as well when we visited. But yeah, I know the northern accent's like a little bit tough. What about the Aussie? What about Aussie accent for you? Like, is it like? To me, it sounds like a lawnmower. Like, is that? That's probably how I sound right now.
That's such a good way to explain it. It's weird because in the team, there's obviously lots of different accents because there's a lot of different cultural backgrounds. But then I've got my friend Mia Middleton who's like pure Aussie. Like, if you said that now, I'm going to tell her she sounds like a lawnmower. She literally sounds like that all the time. So it's like her accent, and then there's like other people's accents where it's a lot softer. And it's not as harsh. So, like, yeah, there is this. It's not like England where you only drive 20 minutes and there's different accents everywhere.
Yeah, that's 100%. Even in London, I feel like you go into a different borough, and it's like so different. Yeah, here the only thing, the further you go to the country, it's just the longer. If they say, "Do you want water?" It's like, "Do you want water?" It's just you gotta wait. You're like, okay. Is that? Can I ask you, Mia? Is that? She's played. If I'm correct, I want to. I've done my research, but I want to be like pretty certain 4 or 5 games in the NRLW. Is that correct?
So, yeah. She just played for us for the first time for Para, obviously at the weekend, yeah.
Yep. The reason why I know because my daughter, there were 3 little girls at the front watching the game, and my daughter came. She's a little bit more smaller than them, and she came down and she was mimicking them, and then they said, "Oh, my auntie's playing Mia."
So
it was
she does
her.
have some nieces, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a lovely girl. She's been one of like the people I've really gelled with. Like she's absolutely mad. But yeah, she's mad. She's absolutely mental. But she's the funniest person I've met. Yeah, she's a proper Aussie lawnmower, I'm going to call her from now on.
I'm giving you that
I
word.
love that one. That's so good.
So playing over here, like you said, there's a few characters and things like that. But what differs? Like, is the training program different to at home? I'd assume probably there's a bit more exposure too. Would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I'd probably say that. And it's more like at home, obviously, because we're all full time working, there's not really any opportunity for you to go part time at work at home. So it's like you're training 2 to 3 times a week and it's at night and it is at like 6 o'clock. You're getting home at like 10. You're going then back into work the next day quite late. Like it's genuinely probably not as accessible to get that training in. So like compared to here where we start at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time it is, and then we're training like 4 times a week, like, and we're getting a lot more hours with each other. Like it's a lot more accessible to be able to train. And like I don't have to work while I'm here, and I know a few of the other girls all just work in the off season. So it's really a lot more flexible for you to be able to actually be an athlete in that time you're in season. Where at home, it's just there's no chance you getting that, and that's where I think we differ now. Is that you're actually not getting the time and you're not getting the exposure, you're not getting all those things because you can't because you're full time. You know, some of them are teachers, work in hospitals, nurses, like they're full time staff. So it's difficult to be able to, you know, compare the two because they're doing completely different things. The training completely different.
Yeah, that does make sense because I did want to ask you. I should have said before the pod, but about the Vegas game. I know that would have been tough, like to experience. It was. Can I tell you? It was the first time that I started supporting England,
Right.
like with my wife. Also, because I had when I had Emily Rudge on before, I
Yeah,
promised her. I said I'll support you
Oh,
girls
that's
like when you
nice.
play. But I think every like Aussie, because you want women's sport to do well. It was just a shame, like on that stage, it was a big margin. Because I know normally it's like when I've watched the games, it's like a bit to and fro.
Yeah.
Is that just? Do you think that the training now is it like the gap? It's sort of a positive and a negative that NRLW's improved so much, accelerated, but then at home you don't get that.
No, and we, you know, going into that game, we genuinely didn't actually, like, I remember thinking to myself, it's going to be a really tough game. It's going to be, you know, in my head, I genuinely thought, you know, it's not the inevitable that it was going to happen, but kind of knew there was a little bit ahead of us, but I didn't realise how much ahead. So when we played them in that score line at the end of it, I think we was all in a bit of shock because we really didn't expect that. Like, we knew we was a bit behind, you know, obviously we knew that they had contracts in Australia. They were getting paid, you know, at least a minimum of like 30, maybe to $40,000 or whatever it was, you know, that year. And it's like at home, we was just getting paid like only just that year was the first year I'd been paid at Saints, and it was like
Wow.
£200 a game, so that's like $400 a game, and that was it. So if you got injured, you wasn't getting paid. You know, there's no contract. You could go anywhere. There's no legal binding document to say you have to like stay here or we'll support you with this, we'll support you with that, because we just didn't have that. So going into that game, probably not even realising just at the money point of view, they're like so many steps ahead, just in the fact that the security of that person is that they're getting that money no matter what and they're going to be supported through that. So yeah, probably not realising that difference was so big. Really probably shocked a lot of us when we seen the scoreline, but then the aftermath of it, you start realising, oh, we probably actually was going up against full-time professionals, and we're just semi-professional. Do you know the difference there is huge? So probably not realising that till the aftermath rather than before it. You know, I wasn't confident in the sense that we could do it, but I was confident in the fact that I thought we had the players to be able to, you know, compete at least, yeah. And obviously we just couldn't, and that was the hardest part, knowing that like we just couldn't compete no matter what we'd done. And I know them girls, I know myself and the rest of the team, how much we trained, because if you're thinking we only got together like when we can, as like once a week, say with England camps, and we had England training, then you're doing your club training. then you're doing your own individual training, but you're fitting that around a full-time job. Some of them people are working night shifts, some of them people, you know, it's so difficult to be able to actually compare it to what I'm getting now in the NRLW, where I'm thinking I'm literally a full-time athlete, more or less here. Like, every week I can do, you know, recovery, eat well, train well. It's like I'm doing everything at training, where I think to my, like, training up to Vegas, I was just trying to fit everything in where I could. And it's completely different. And I see a massive difference in myself from that. So that side of it, you can see the difference stands out a mile, because we've not got that accessibility when it comes to training and time.
Yeah, I do. I'm not trying to hammer you because I do
Yeah.
want to talk about, because you're quite a character as well. So I do want to talk about that. So it's not going to be all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask one more thing, because I've, you know, as just a fan, I guess, and having some of my heroes on, and even people like yourself, is so amazing, like to have on. So I've heard like a few of them say there's no lonelier place like on the field than sort of losing a final or things like that. But I could imagine with that sort of scoreline, it probably, like, you just wanted to be swallowed up in that sense. Is that how you felt out there?
Yeah, and it was so hard, because some of them girls as well, of like, I've never played Australia before. Some of the other girls had played Australia before, had a bit of that taste, and the scoreline was nothing like that. So for them, I think that hurt just as much, to show that we hadn't really progressed. And then it probably really hurt, like, those girls who are fresh. Some of them girls had only had like 2 caps before playing in Vegas. You know, that's such a big game. For me, it was just more like, yeah, like, as the game was going on, I was just like, I don't know what we can do. But I just remember thinking, like, just don't give up. Just keep going. Just, you know, like, get it done. And in the end, it was just, yeah, when that whistle went, I was just like, oh, gosh, what was that? It was more like what was that?
Yeah.
What had actually happened? And it was a really hard pill to swallow, because, like I said, we all worked and trained so hard. And, you know, yeah, it was tough. It was mentally tough. And a lot of the girls as well after that game got a lot of bad social media hate from it. You know, some really volatile things, and things that you just think, like, why are you saying that? You know, it can't mean that much to you to tell us to go and, like, do this to ourselves, or, you know, really nasty things about people's appearances. And it's like, what have we done that's that bad that you hate us so much? So that was a new experience for a lot of girls too. So we'd not really experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. So yeah, it was a bad time, and I felt sorry for our staff too, because they put so many hours in and work really hard, and their results, it's their results too. Do you know, like, it's all of us. So as a whole, yeah, we was just gutted, proper gutting feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of a different tangent, but one thing that kind of pisses me off on social media, especially Facebook with older men, is like, they don't care about women's sport until something like that happens. Or it's a totally different topic, but, you know, transgender, anything. They don't care about it, but then when it's something they hate, they hammer it. And it's a bit like, I've had arguments on there before, but then it's like, I'm with my wife and, you know, my daughter, and it's like, well, Polly always says, like, what, you're wasting your energy, like, honestly. But I can imagine being a player, it'd be so hard. And even you're like, not you in particular, but the girls that cop to their family and friends are on social media too. So it's just, I just find it ironic that the men that criticize it, it's only, they come out in those certain times, and it's usually like a locked profile or a like faceless profile or whatever. So I can imagine that would be frustrating. But yeah, how have you found, like, well, how do you even find, let's say, rugby league, for example? Because I'm a bit maybe older than you, but just with it, if you go get a paper, who would even get a paper now? I just thought about that. But if you go get like a Daily Telegraph or a paper, it's like rugby league is the front page, the back page, like, it's quite different.
Oh, it's so different.
How do you, is it like an alternate universe? Like, how do you find it?
Like, back at home, like Super League and like rugby league, it's not the biggest thing in England. Like, it's literally the M62. It's a motorway that literally connects Super League clubs together. I couldn't believe it. Like, for some of my coaches at home, like my coach Derek, he would say things to me like, it's massive over there, like, it's the biggest thing. And I used to think, all right. And then I'd come here, and then I didn't realise until, like, It's like on the news 24/7. It's like everything. Like it's just crazy. I can't believe it's like football, like soccer back up in England.
You can say, don't
Yeah,
worry. In
I've
this
learned-
house, it's football. Or I get, I don't. I was
Yeah.
gonna say spanking, but that's a bit weird. But I get in trouble, so it's definitely
No,
yeah.
I've learned now to like communicate with people. Ask me what I do. I'm like, oh, footy, and then they're like, oh, right, okay. Because if I said rugby, they think rugby union, and yeah, it's just easier to go with the lingo. So yeah, okay, soccer, football, it's like that here. That's how it feels. It's massive, and I couldn't actually believe like how big it is until I got here. Like everybody has a team, like everybody. Like everyone you know, it's crazy, and like it's like a big thing when people ask me as well. Like at Josh's rugby club, they'll say like who do you play for, and I'm like, oh, like Parent. It's like and I'm like, oh, usually that reaction I don't really get that at home. It's just like, oh right, okay, like because it's not as big. Like here is huge, like it's massive. And it's just it's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember when I lived in London, I'd sort of talk to rugby league about people and then be like, oh, with all the penalties. And I'm like, no, it's a different game. And I'm like, it's interesting because obviously up north, like you have, like it's, you have the, as you said, the small areas where it's very big. So it's funny. I'm like, didn't you ever see like Warrington and, Wigan on TV or anything like that? But in London, they're quite like
Rugby union.
cut off from it.
Yeah,
and Union's a lot bigger than I imagined as well.
Union's really big down south because when I was like younger and I started playing rugby union first. Then when I went and I played like in a Premiership side up north, and we versed all the south teams like Saracens and things like that. And down there was like where it was all like up north. There's just like one or two like Premiership clubs. That was it. So everything was down south. So it's like reverse really, because then there's like one team down south. It's London Broncos for Super League. Well. Yeah, they're in. Are they in the
They're championship.
Championship.
Yeah, I had a couple of the boys
yeah.
on, but I don't want to. I feel like they'll be in Super League next year, but
maybe,
we'll see. Yeah,
but it's like that. So it's like one team there, so it's like roles reverse. It's really strange, but rugby league is literally just a motorway.
Yeah,
It's massive to them. Like if you're born in St Helens, that is your like everybody's a Saints fan. The same in Wigan. It's massive there, but like here, it's massive than the whole of the East, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not the same. It's a lot bigger. So.
And I was watching a few of your interviews, and I know you're saying, as I said, good character. So it's good to have you on. But I know you were sort of saying that you did have the dream to come to Australia as well. That was like a goal of yours.
Yeah, it was like when probably just before the World Cup. It was like a little bit of a conversation I kept having with coaches and stuff, and like no one had done it yet, and so there wasn't really like I didn't know if it was achievable. I didn't know what was kind of happening with that. And then after the World Cup, I kind of just didn't give up on it as much, but I didn't really think as much into it. I had a season where like the World Cup took a lot out of us. Like we trained like a lot that year, and when I went into like the 2023 season, I remember just being a bit like I was a bit drained of rugby at that time. And so my dreams and my aspirations kind of changed a little bit, and I was a bit like, oh, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? And my friend Amy Hardcastle, she always used to say to me, like, remember, you said you want to play in the NRLW? And I was like, yeah, I don't know now, don't know. I kept like changing it. And then 2024 season happened. I like got my head back on, and I was like, I'm having this. And then, it just, out of nowhere, just little conversations started happening, and it spooked my interest again. And then I was just like, I want to do it. I want to do it. It's just my dream. Why did I go off track? Why did I not? Like, it just like come back to me again. And then obviously now I've done it, I'm just like, I'm so like proud of myself that I actually set out to do something and I've done it. So it's like, I've always like wanted to do it, but I did have a bit of a detour and then come back to it. But
I think I always tell people like traveling, moving overseas is such a, you can't grow more than moving overseas and uprooting. Obviously, you guys have uprooted your life here. How are you finding it without like your family?
Yeah, like the first few months was fine. Like me and Josh were just like, we're not missing anybody. This is great. Like this is so nice. And then it's probably the last like month we've just been like, I'm feeling homesick now. Like I'm missing people. I'm missing like good northern banter. Northern crack. Like Aussies are great, they are. I really like them, but northern banter, you can't beat it.
No, it's okay. You can
crack.
No,
It's
don't
such
worry.
good crack.
I said be honest on here. It's all right. We have had a girl who I worked with previously, so she's single, so she's still dating, and she does miss the
Northern,
banter.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
she's northern too. I think she's like a little town outside of Manchester, but she was saying, I said, how's dating? And she said, yeah, the guys don't really understand me. Because if you be sort of sarcastic,
Yeah, it
they
rubs
think,
off wrong way.
they're like, are you being serious? And they sort of look at her and then the date doesn't really end. I mean, like you've already got your partner, so
Yeah.
you're set, but
Lucky I'm not dating.
yeah, I've heard. Because I found obviously I loved it over there because I quite like
good.
banter.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed and I like the humor, and even I've found now like with so my wife really doesn't like many American. If
Okay.
it's too American
like,
eyes, she's yeah. So now I really like the English humor and things like that. What about like? Because our TV and things like that's pretty
Yeah.
terrible too. Are you missing like the murder mysteries and
That's
things like
funny.
that?
Nah, I wasn't really into that. To be
Ah,
fair.
fair. Okay.
Nah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
good. And my Netflix has changed now, like pure Aussie. So then my mum keeps saying like, "Oh, have you watched this yet?" And some things aren't on it. So I'm like, "Oh no, I can't watch it." But yeah, most things like it's pretty much the same. But I don't watch any Australian TV. Usually I'm flicking through
good
and I find
idea.
the odd like pointless will come on the telly and I'm like, oh, that's English.
Yeah.
There's like English channels and I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, I literally just stick to Netflix.
Nah, we either copy or it's like my partner always says it's like we have 10 celebrities and then we just move them all around like back and forth. We don't.
Through different shows.
Yeah, even like I think the music scene, she misses that quite a lot as well in the UK.
We had a good music scene actually. And then like in Manchester near us, there's always like really good concerts on and a lot of like different things like that to go and watch. So yeah, maybe stuff like that. Not that I ever went to watch anyway because I don't like busy places. I just
Okay.
avoid it. I hate like being squished.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like my own space.
Okay, so would you say, I would think you're an extrovert, but would you say
Yeah.
like you need a bit, we can be both.
Both.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if you ask Josh, he's like, I'm extrovert outside, and then as soon as I get inside, I'm like introverted. I'm like, nah, I like my own space, like my own, like just me and Josh. Like I'm dead. Like I've like got two personalities.
Okay.
Outside, inside Paige. That's like what I'm like. I think it's just more like I love being extroverted, but I'll have like. Amy always makes me laugh, Amy Hardcastle, because when we go in camps and Tosh, she's like, you're going to crash in a minute. Because I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm full of life. And then next minute, I'm like, I'm sat there like that, like, yeah, I've extroverted all my extroverts.
I kind of, as a PT, I kind of get that. Yeah, you have a limit, and then once your bucket's full, it sort of tips over. So
And I'm like borderline ADHD, so it's like, it explains it a lot. I have like hyperness, and then next minute, flat out crash.
yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I was gonna ask you too, like about Aussies.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
you can answer honestly. Do you find in the rugby league world anyway a certain like arrogance from us? You can be honest.
Yeah, maybe in the like Aussie v England, yeah, can be quite like you win most of the time. So I think you're pretty good at sports. So in any sports, yeah, maybe a little bit of arrogance, but I'd probably be arrogant if I won that many things too.
Yeah,
so
that's
kind of like
because I remember. I think it might have been. I don't want to mess this up, but it might have been Jamie Peacock or one of the players saying that. Obviously, they find the Aussies arrogant, but even because I was younger, I remember at the time thinking, you got to beat us to sort of. It's like in state of origin here, we find Queensland a bit arrogant at the moment, but they're been winning. So yeah, I sort of get that, but yeah, I'm glad you're honest. No, that's good. That's good. So
I
yeah,
just say, well, you've got to be. You can't. You have the right to be arrogant if you if you're winning.
yeah,
So it's like it's true, isn't it?
and then like the physicality, like of the NRLW, because I was front and center at your game on the weekend,
See
and
me get bounced back 10 yards
no,
by
no,
Reba
no.
Butler.
No. I actually did. I didn't see that, but I saw you have a few good runs. But
Yeah.
I know, like just being up close, like the collision and the impact is quite. Is that a difference or?
Yeah, it's hard. When people ask me this question, I get asked it a lot, what's the difference between Super League and obviously we spoke about the fact that like in terms of training, money and all that stuff like that obviously makes a big difference. But then the other side of it's like if you play like when we used to play like York and Leeds and Wigan, like the top 4 teams, them games would be really competitive and you don't know who's going to win. But then you'd go and play the bottom 4 and it's like 80-0. You know you're going to win. It's crazy how different the top 4 and bottom 4 is basically. So like the difference between the whole of the league, yeah, is completely different because every game in an LW is really physical and you don't know who's going to win most of the time. Where in Super League it's like in only you get that in the top 4 teams and you're only playing them twice a year, so it's like you're getting them every few rounds, so not every week's competitive. So that physical side of it only comes out in those 4 games for me, so like it's hard to compare it, but yeah, it's definitely faster, 100% faster. Like they play the balls a lot quicker. And I've been playing in the middle, so I've never like I've played mid. I actually debuted at middle for England, which is so random. I remember being like just put there and being like, oh, okay, by Craig at the time, my England coach, and I was put at middle, so I have had experience at middle, but yeah, this is my first year ever playing middle. Obviously, it's just all about physicality in the middle, and it's been very different because I'm not the biggest middle on the pitch, so yeah, it's been different. But comparing it to Super League, I'd just say like those top 4 games are tough, but it's still not as fast as week in week out in RLW. Definitely not. So,
Can I ask you too? I just thought of this. So I actually started this podcast, or the first episode I had Matt Gardner. So he's 80 Gardner's brother,
yeah.
and he sort of said that you got to be a bit of a different person to play rugby league. Do you think, like when I watch even on the weekend, and like obviously I played when I was younger, but even I don't think at that age I had like that killer like instinct. Do you think that's the case with rugby league?
And you have to, I think it is more positional because like you have like halfbacks who are like unbelievable with the ball, but when it comes to defence, like I've played with so many halfbacks who are like they just don't want to defend, and that's just normal. But like if you're in the middle, or even in like the centres and the wings, like you have to have a different mindset because you genuinely go and putting your body in front of someone, and like sounds like bad, but lots of things can happen from that. So you've got to think you can't care about what can happen. Basically, you have got a bit. I think you have to be a bit loose. No, I really do.
That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. Like he said, there is something.
Yeah.
He's like very extreme with his training now, but because he obviously missed that competitiveness and things like that. But yeah, it's sort of funny here because it's like considered a normal sport.
Yeah.
And when I did a little bit of work for the NRL, like I mentioned to you previously, I remember going into I've been to schools, but I remember going to like just little kids like playing, and the dad was sort of like, "Oh, come on, mate."
Yeah.
And it's bad to say, but I just felt like turning to the dad and saying, "Do you think your son's just," which is nothing wrong with that, like, but he's not like, he doesn't have the killer. I could see he was only about 10, but he just didn't have like that killer instinct. And the dad was like, "Oh, come on, mate, like you can get in there," and like really, not like abusive or anything, but really
Trying to G him up.
But I was just looking at this kid, and I'm like thinking,
you
he's
don't want to.
nah, like I don't know, maybe he wants to play chess, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I was just like, I think you need to be in belt, but it's just a bit weird because here it's like a normal sport. It's like, oh, get him into rugby league, and then when you watch even junior footy or whatever on the weekend, if you're close, like the impact and the speed of the line, like is pretty amazing, even in A grade or whatever. So you would agree, you got to be a different breed.
100%. Like I do think you have to be a bit different, and I think you have to be a bit fearless. Like it's really weird to be honest. My sporting career, 'cause it's like I started as a gymnast, and I did gymnastics, which was quite like a poise, like, you have to have like pretty fingers, pretty toes, and I always was a bit more of like a powerhouse kind of gymnast. Like I was really good at vault and like tumbling, but I was never good at like the flexibility and the posh side of it. So like I always felt that was a bit like a key indicator. And then probably I did a bit of netball in school, and the teacher wrote in my leavers book, too aggressive in netball, something like it was like takes every PE lesson like it's the World Cup final. And I did like my competitive nature's really bad. Like I don't like feeling like you've got one up on me. Like if you've beat me at something, like racing, like running races in school and stuff, like I wanted to be the fastest. I didn't like second. I was the same when I did gymnastics. Like I used to rather come third than second. How bad's that?
Oh,
Yeah, because
really?
it made over like, I don't want to be second best. I'd rather like third's like, oh, at least I'm third. But second used to like, oh, yeah, I used to be really very competitive. So, and I've always had like aggression. So like as soon as I got to start playing rugby union, I was like, it's like it unleashed me. I'm not joking. It was like a release. I think now I should have done boxing. It was one or the
So
other.
yeah, very interesting. That's
Yeah.
why I love doing podcasts with people because if when I met you,
Yeah.
even just outside and first impressions, I was
Yeah.
like, wouldn't expect that. And you
No.
get like really in depth in the person as well.
Yeah,
And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's
No.
yeah, that's quite interesting. So that relieved like some of your
Yeah.
angst, would you say,
Yeah.
like
I
growing
just
up?
loved it. I just loved like putting a ball under my arm, just like running at people. I used to just like, and I was never the biggest, and I was never like the strongest, but I just loved it. Yeah, I just loved being aggressive, and that was one of like my best attributes back in Super League. Like I was never the biggest or like thingy, but I always got through with like aggression. And like that's something that I always got picked up on. It was like your aggression's really good. Your aggression's really good. So yeah, I used to like pride myself on being quite aggressive. I think I'm a lot tamer in the NRLW. I've learnt lessons because like back in Super League, I didn't have controlled aggression. I had like controlled aggression to a point, and then someone would do something to me, and then I'd just be explosive, and I'd be like doing all sorts in the ruck. And I remember like having a conversation with Josh after most games, like I'm not going to do that next week. I'm going to be better. I'm not going to give a penalty away because I've like pushed someone's head in the floor because I've got like too much sort of like I've got to a good stage in RLW now where I'm like controlled aggression,
It's
not like nuts aggression.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I did want to ask you, and I feel like you'll be pretty honest. So, I'm sure you know Andrew Johns, like they played rugby league, and then so when Maddie played him in a game, they're on opposite sides,
Yeah.
and he got asked Matty Johns like, oh, what's it like playing your brother? He probably made a joke about him being better or whatever it is, but he said, I don't find football personal. But would you say, and same thing, I've loved your honesty so far. Like, would you say you do? I guess in the forwards, it's a very different game to the backs because they're both trying to run the team sort of thing. So would you say, like, in the forwards, you almost need it to be personal to a certain degree to be good?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's different for me because I'm only just learning like who's who, and like the competitiveness of the other teams and stuff. But yeah, like back home in Super League, there'd be certain places I'd be like, I'm not letting you pass me, or like I'd be like, I'd have like targets in my brain. Yeah,
Interesting.
but I think that's just like competitiveness. Like if they was really good, like I'd be thinking in my head like I don't want you to get like I'd be really like thinking I've got to be dominant on you and etc etc. So yeah, I'd say it is personal. I don't know how it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I would think it would have to be in that, but obviously, I guess, sometimes with the players, they don't want to say that. But you think in the forward pack, especially if you knew, as you said, that your opposing number is like ranked number one or whatever it is, your eyes are lighting up.
Maybe.
I was gonna ask you too. Does your competitiveness and your aggression spill over to, let's say, you guys are playing? I forget what you call putt golf.
Golf.
No, but you call it crazy golf. Yeah.
That's so funny you've said that because me and Josh have repeated. So I beat Josh all the time at mini golf. I think he's only beat me once. And genuinely, we was on holiday and we went on this massive like course and I was winning. Josh like proper spat his dummy out. I was like, I just want to give up now. There's no point, I'm too hot. He blames like if he loses, it's usually because of something like I felt sick or I definitely I'm the competitive one, but so is he. So yeah, it spills into everything. We are quite competitive with each other.
Yeah. I guess like obviously it's been a positive for you to your career, but it would be sort of tough to control in everyday life. Would you say as well?
Yeah, I've always been competitive. Like I just like to do. If I'm gonna do something, I don't want to just do it. I want to be like the best at it. Like if I'm not, it like hurts me. Like it makes me feel not great about myself. So I like to like if I'm not good at something, like I'll practice it over and over again. Like I never think I'm perfect. I think I can always do more or be more, or, you know, if you ask Josh, I'm very self-critical. So, like, any game that I have, it doesn't matter if I've done loads of things right, I always focus on the negatives, which is, like, good and bad. Like, it keeps me focused, and it keeps me humble, and it keeps me, strict to my rituals and what I want to do and what I want to achieve. But at the same time, sometimes I'm probably too negative on myself. But I'm probably if you ask I don't know many rugby league players that probably won't be like that.
Yeah, and it's
And
interesting.
if you're not, there's something wrong, because you can't be that confident.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that too, because as I said, we're doing a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
You find that someone who I would think, how could I say, I want to be, or they're very confident, it actually might be the reverse,
Yeah.
because they always think they can do better.
Yeah.
It's like they're always pushing themselves. So it's an interesting it's an interesting contrast of what you might believe, I guess, kind of thing. So you'd say you fall into that category as well in life.
It's just the same with the extrovert and introvert. On the outside, I look probably very confident when you see me on social media and these things, but deep down in the deep root, I'm not usually very confident, and I'm quite insecure about a lot of things in terms of, like, how I play and stuff like that. So then I work on those things. Like, it's a good thing, I think, because on the outside I probably do look confident, but on the inside I keep myself checked. Like, and I never think that I'm better than what I am. I always think I've got more to do, more to learn, better to be. I just always think there's someone better as well. Like, me and Josh always say that when we're talking. Like, there's always someone bigger, there's always someone better. So you're just trying to aspire to be that. You know, I don't think there should ever be a time in sporting career where you're like, yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm okay with, because then you just get complacent. And I've been complacent in previous years, and then that's bit me right on the arse. So it's like, you can't be complacent. You have to think you're chasing something. That's just how I see it. Chasing to be better.
But it's interesting you say that, just because that's probably why a lot of athletes, when they get older, can't. That's what I sort of say to my mates or whoever I'm discussing it with. I'm like, I get what you're saying, but if they're like, oh, they're past it or whatever. I mean, there's chat about Cherry Evans at the moment, but like chat about players, and it's like, but what got them there is what's keeping them going. Like, they still have that positive mindset to improve, and also the confidence that they will get better. But it's just a bit tricky, I suppose, because time. I'd be old if I was a player. I'm 36, so God. But yeah, time catches up. But yeah, for you, like, as a just like to not that you're older, but when you were young, like, who was your, I guess, positive role models? Like, because we've had Ash Warner on, who played NRLW, and she was saying that it's good nowadays that, let's say, my daughter will have a female sporting role model, but all of her role models growing up were men. So did you have a role model that you looked up to?
Yeah, so mine was the same. Like, I always supported rugby league when I was younger. My family are from St Helens originally. I never lived there, but my family are from there, and my cousin is married to Paul Wellings. So Paul, basically, growing up, we'd always go and watch Paul, and I used to love watching it. And so he was a bit of like someone I'd look up to. Like, when I started,
he was a great player,
great person too, really good person, great bloke. And like, probably as I started to watch more rugby league, funnily enough, Sam Tompkins then become my. Like, I really liked Sam Tompkins. And it was really strange, because he's obviously not... He's like the opposite to Saints. He was a Wiganer, and it was like probably quite wrong of me to like him.
Yeah, I know that rivalry. Yeah,
it's bad rivalry. But yeah, he was like... But I think I liked his attitude. He was a bit cheeky and a bit naughty, and he didn't care. And I loved his confidence too, so I used to like him. But then, as I got into like the England system... started playing at Saints, Amy Hardcastle was like come over and started playing for us, and I looked up to Amy a lot. And even though like we played together, she was a big influence on me, like just instilling that confidence in me. Like, she'd reassure me a lot, like, Paige, you're good enough to be there, do this, do that. She really helped me to like progress in that sense, and she was the big like advocate for putting me like, go and do that dream, go and do the NRLW, you're good enough, you can do it, you know, like a supportive role model kind of thing. So yeah, I'd say they was like my role models. But it's nice now that kids do have them. Like back home, you know, it was nice that little girls were just like, oh, they'd have my name on the back of the shirts and they'd have my number, and it was like it's really nice that they can be like, I want to play for Saints one day, I want to do that, and hopefully by then, it's in a better state than it is now, and that's a lovely thing to think that we can do that. Yeah, because like for us and for them, especially like if you think about the girls in the 30s, they didn't have anyone to look up to. They didn't have anything to aspire other than male role models. So yeah, it's a nice feeling that to think you can give that to them.
And then same, I guess, going back to what I said earlier, like the Lionesses, the football team, like they won the Euros, and then I see negative comments, and I said to my wife, I'm like, your men can't do it, so what are they so angry about if they're confident? I know there's couple of the girls that are really good players and they cop it like on social media. So it's like I'm thinking, don't you want an English team to win the Euros and World Cups and things like that? But
you just can't when it comes to women's sport. I don't think you can win. Not with the wrong people. You can't. So there's no point trying to impress them. You're not there to impress them. You're not there to when I've had the odd comment here and there, like I've been quite good at just thinking like you're literally nobody. Like you're nobody, and you're trying to comment on me or on my team or things like that. Is ridiculous. It's just most of the time the people who just don't have anything going on with their lives. So you just gotta take it on the chin.
Yeah, I think it's probably guys that were terrible when they played, and it's like some sort of something they're letting out as well.
But equally, we get really good. Like when I used to play at Saints, we had some really good fans that would come early and watch the women's and the men's sport, and they were men, so it's not all men, but it's just the odd one or two when you look at the comments, and it's like like piping up again, and it's just the odd one. But we do have a lot of supportive people too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't want to paint it the whole whole podcast, because even when I went to the Roosters, your game on Saturday, like there was a lot of people before the game, which if NRL are listening, that makes more sense than putting you guys late at night on a winter's night, the week before. But there was a lot of support there, and I found like very vocal. To like with what was happening in the game. Obviously didn't go, I want to say our way, but I'm just a fan, but didn't go the Eels way. No. But it was a positive, I thought.
First half was really good. We really, we're stuck into that game, but things happen. You got to move on. Next week now, so.
And then what about for the Eels, like for the rest of the season? Like what do you think you guys sort of need to hone in on or improve?
More just probably we just need to win these next 3 games. I think when I've worked out if we win these next 3 games, then we should be in the top 6. So hopefully that's what we can do. But yeah, it's just about winning. Doesn't matter how you do it, you just gotta win.
Yeah,
simple as
Yeah, and then I guess for yourself, Paige, I'd love to. Just because I do have to pick up my daughter, but I'd love to have you on again because it's been amazing, like just to chat women's sport and your life in general as well. But I guess for yourself, we usually ask our guests, is there anything you would offload about yourself? So is there anything you would change about yourself, do you think? To be fair, I should have sent you this question to give you a bit of
you know what, I'll be honest, because this week has been a challenging week and has been for the last few weeks, and it's probably around the fact that I always take footy home. Like I can never leave it. I don't switch off. That's something I'd like to change about myself. I wish I could switch off because I overthink the whole thing. I will replay the game 20 million times in my head. I'll watch it 10 times. I don't switch off. I don't have like an off button. So at night I struggle sleeping. Like it consumes me, like because I'm so obsessed with it. And like I love what I do, but at the same time, yeah, if I could choose something, it'd be trying to switch off because I do think about it a lot.
So after a night, like let's say the game on Saturday, what time would you get to sleep, do you think? Like,
oh, it's late and then I'm up. I was thinking about it, and then I'd say for even still now for the next few days, it's on your mind. It's tough after a loss as well, after a few losses. Even when we win, I'm very self-critical of my performance or like what I'm doing, and doubting myself a little bit, and I do that a lot. So it's something I'd like to try and work on and change. But I'm still, still happy-go-lucky. I'm still happy to be here. But yeah, it's more just like that little switch that I wish I could just be like, right, switch off now. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's been an interesting chat because, as I said, Paige, your social media, and as you said, maybe people would have a misconception that you're quite easygoing. Probably you are in other aspects of your life, but with why you've made the NRLW or why you're in Australia or played for England is your competitiveness.
Yeah, definitely my competitiveness, yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd change when you asked me that question.
Yeah.
Say that.
Well, it's been amazing, Paige. Thank you so much. As I said, I'd love to have you on again. And then good luck to you and the girls for the rest of the year.
Hopefully
We've taken a load off for this week.